You're listening to Read the Damn Book, and this is episode number 4. Welcome to Read the Damn Book podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, where I read every book of every author that I interview on this show. This is a spinoff of the Webby-nominated My Simplified Life podcast, where we go behind the scenes. I don't just want to hear about the book. I want to hear about the author, the human being behind the words that we all fall in love with. Here, you're going to hear directly from the authors what their journey through life has been like, their journey through writing their book, and some behind the scenes on every book. So let's get started and read the damn book. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and if you're hearing this, it's meant for you. Actually, I have Leigh Stein on today, and her newest novel, If You're Seeing This, It's Meant for You, is also out today. It is a gothic mystery that is just incredible. We are talking about a hype house and tarot card readings and influencers and TikToks and a rabbit and all the things. I absolutely love everything that Leigh creates because I feel she's a creative genius. I really do. She does so much research when it comes to her books. Go back to the episode where I interviewed her on her novel Self-Care and the Wellness Industry, and you will be in awe. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to talk to my friend Leigh and to hear all about her newest novel. If you're seeing this, it's meant for you. Hi, Leigh.
Hi. So happy to be back.
Oh, I am so happy to have you back and to get to see your face. Not that I don't see it every morning. You're literally the first thing I look at in your cute classes, posting what you're doing today. And I'm like, I like to see where I fit into her schedule because I know I'm on it.
Yes, you were I do my morning selfies of what I'm working on that day. And today you were the big deal.
And
other than the bees in my attic. Yeah.
There was yesterday too, because you were worried about the internet connection. And I was like, that's me.
Yes. Hopefully this works for us.
It will. It will. We'll pray to the tarot people, gods, whatever they are. It's in the cards. We should have done a reading before this.
It's in the cards. Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself to everyone who has not listened to your previous episode here?
Absolutely. My name is Leigh Stein. I'm the author of 6 books, including the satire Self-Care, which is about the wellness industry. And I have a new book coming out at the end of August called If You're Seeing This, It's Meant for You.
And today is your pub day. So happy pub day.
Thank you, Michelle.
We are recording early, but today will be pub day.
It's an amazing day. It's the best day ever. Nothing's going wrong. Everything's going so smoothly today.
Pop the bubbles.
On August 26th.
Yes. I love it. I was so excited that you had a book coming out because I loved Self-Care. You know this.
Thank you.
I love everything you do. And tell your husband you did not pay me for this again. You are a content genius. You keep me not just entertained, but I feel like I learn so much from you. Your books are incredible. I loved. If you're seeing this, it was meant for you.
Thank you.
How did this even come about? Because I loved when you did Self-Care, and people can go back and listen to that interview, but you did so much research on the wellness industry. It was beautiful because even I'm like, what? This is real? People do this? And then now with this book, I didn't know that there were actual hype houses. And so you get me Googling things on the side as I'm reading that this shit goes on for real.
It's so funny. I guess that has been like one of the responses that's consistent for both Self-Care and this new TikTok novel. Like when people read either of those books, they tell me that they're Googling things to find out what did I invent and what is real, because I did do like a lot of deep dives into Instagram wellness culture. I was following like Amanda Chantal Bacon, whose daily food diary kind of went viral in The Cut many years ago because it's like no solid foods. It's just like a teaspoon of nectar and like, that kind of stuff. It's just so fun to research that. And then for this novel, which is set in a TikTok hype house, I not only researched hype houses, which are real, but I also became a content creator on TikTok, like a method actor. Like I actually had to become a content creator to figure out like, what is it like to create content? What is it like to go viral? What is it like to have everyone mad at you when your TikTok has blown up? So for people who don't know what a hype house is, it's basically a mansion where all the influencers live together, and they were prevalent like in 2020 during COVID. In Los Angeles, there were certain mansions that were dedicated to creating content. So all the influencers would live in the same mansion. They would appear in each other's videos. They would dance in each other's dances. And so it was a kind of way to grow your audience and your following by collaborating in person in the same house. So this book that I wrote is a spooky gothic mystery set in one of these hype houses where I'm pitting a 39-year-old millennial who's never used TikTok in her life. She's brought in to manage these Gen Z content creators in a crumbling gothic mansion, but one of the influencers who is a tarot card reader has disappeared from the house.
And you inspired me to look more at tarot. And then all of a sudden it was like tarot's everywhere. A friend is like, "Oh, I've got tarot cards. Do you want to do a reading?" I'm like, "Yes, this is fun." And I told you I'm now like Googling free tarot card reading every once in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
while.
that's
Pick
great.
six. Let's see where we're going. I loved it. I love that the book, it felt very reminiscent to me because the house that they're in is dilapidated. It needs to be redone. And it felt very TCM to me. Old,
Mm,
like Sunset Boulevard,
totally
the
Sunset Boulevard.
house, yeah, one of our favorite. My dog is Norma Desmond. And so it felt very reminiscent of this rundown house and these people who want to bring it back, but then with a modern day twist.
Yeah, and initially when I first started writing the book, in LA, there really were beautiful mansions that were listed on the real estate market, and then they would hire the influencers to come make content inside as a way to market the real estate. So initially, I had it as like a beautiful multi-million dollar home. And then I was like, no, 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 this is a gothic. Like you need that kind of crumbling, deteriorating setting like Sunset Boulevard or like Grey Gardens, one of my favorites, the documentary. And so I decided to make the house falling apart and that the motivation for the owners of this house to have the hype house is they're trying to raise the money to renovate it back to its previous glory. And I based this house in my book on a real Frank Lloyd Wright mansion called the Ennis House in LA that really did start falling apart in the 90s. And it really was renovated and brought back to life.
And I love that you sent me photos of that when I asked you. I greatly appreciate it. Anyone who knows me knows that as I'm reading your book, you will get DMs from me
I love it.
asking
I love it.
questions. And I was so excited to see that there was a real house. I'm like, I want to go visit. Like, we need this. And I hope they appreciate the marketing that you are doing for their house.
Well, I saw a friend of my dad's who is a professional interior designer, um, and he was like, "You need to mail a copy of your book to the owners of this house." And I was like, "I didn't even think of that," but of course, I know their address because I know the address of the actual house. So I'm gonna mail them a book and a nice letter.
Yes, please do. Oh, yeah. And I hope that they open it and like
I hope they
videotape
invite me
themselves. And
inside. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, you deserve that. Tell them when you're coming to LA and,
I will.
make it a thing. Yeah, let me know. I'll bring the champagne. That would is so much fun. I love that you bring these people all together and they're all different. They all have their own issues and backstories. And I also do enjoy that you bring therapy into this.
Mm.
That was such a moment where you're like, yeah, everybody, you should really probably sit down and talk to someone.
It's so funny. I mean, therapy has been such a like a theme in my life. I'm the daughter of a psychologist, so my mom is a clinical psychologist, and then my sister became a social worker therapist. So I have a mom and a sister who are both therapists, and my sister does group therapy. My sister leads group therapy. So I consulted her as my expert. There's a group therapy scene where all the influencers are doing group therapy together, and so I asked my sister for advice on how to write that. Um, but yeah, that's just something I've always been interested in. It's fun. It's been interesting for me to see, like, over the course of my own life, therapy go from something that was really stigmatized and shameful, and not talked about very much to now it's all over Instagram. Like people as a badge of pride, people will tweet or post on the internet. I was talking to my therapist today, or people go on TikTok and say, my therapist said this. So it's just wild to me in our own lifetime, how much it has been destigmatized.
It's so true. It's now, if you ask my mom, she still, like 2 weeks ago, she told me, "You see a therapist? Like, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." And I just put in conversation of like, well, my therapist said this and I worked on it with her. And
Yeah.
yeah, that set off. So there's still some
So it's
stigma,
generational
but
too.
it
Yeah, it's
is
generational.
definitely. But I'm the same way. I will totally go, well, my therapist said this. And then I'll say to my therapist, I think she's really cool. She could even be listening to this. And I'll say, oh,
Does your therapist listen to your podcast for real?
I
Does she?
I don't know, but she
Okay.
knows when I drop names of people, like whether I'm interviewing them or I have a client coming on board and I go, hey, so there's this person, and I say the name and she goes, mm-hmm. I go, oh, so you know who I'm talking about? And she, yes, I do. Like, oh, she's so much cooler than I really thought. Like, this is awesome. So I love being able to have those conversations with her too.
It's
That
funny because sometimes it's because they create this container, the therapeutic like space. So it's like it's easy to forget that they exist outside that room, like that they also read books or listen to podcasts or watch movies. Like they're a person in their own right.
yes. Yeah. So I love it. I think it's, and I can see that you would have like TikTokers who are, that would be weird to be a therapist for a bunch of influencers, I think.
Well, there's actually this won't spoil anything, but there's a second therapist scene in the novel where the therapist doesn't really understand the life of the influencer. And I actually, when I try to think about what it would be like to be so famous and to try to see a therapist who understands what it's like to have fans being in a parasocial relationship with you, like this really is unique ground. It's almost like finding a therapist that knows how to work with celebrity clients. Like I know that, like that, what's his name? Jonah Hill did that documentary on Netflix about his own therapist who like specializes in working with celebrities because they really have unique problems.
Yeah. What has that been like for you being the content creator, TikToker, growing, going viral? What has that been like for you?
I think, I work with a lot of writers who are so reluctant to make video content, and I understand why, because I was also like very reluctant. Like I worked on this book for like 7 months without even using TikTok. I wasn't even watching TikTok videos. And then I reached a breaking point where I was like, I cannot write this novel and not be on TikTok. Like that would be so inauthentic. Like I don't know how to describe this world. Like I had to understand the culture. So I was also reluctant at first. I also felt awkward at first. There's a steep learning curve. And I think everyone's afraid of looking stupid. Everyone's afraid of looking embarrassing or cringe. So you just have to be willing to take risks and try. So now I feel like I have this whole community, this whole culture that I'm a part of. I have friends. I know people's names. I've hung out with people I've met on TikTok. Like it really is. I'm fully enmeshed in that world. But the thing for anyone who's not on TikTok, the thing to understand about what makes TikTok such a unique platform is that it's not social media, it's recommendation media. So the algorithm isn't showing my videos necessarily to the people who are fans of me. It's showing my videos exactly to the people who have watched similar videos in the past. So it's a customized stream of content. And now Instagram is copying that. So if you see things on your Instagram that you're like, how does it know that I have cats? It's recommending cat content to you based on other stuff you've watched. But the TikTok algorithm is so much more sophisticated and personalized than the Instagram algorithm. That's what makes TikTok so special. So learning to create content on TikTok is every single piece of content has to be relevant to a total stranger who has no idea who I am.
And that doesn't make it hard at all.
It's like, what would a stranger find interesting? And you have 3 seconds to get their attention before they scroll away from you.
Oh, so just quickly and make it make sense. And yeah, easy peasy.
Or use confusion. You can use confusion as an engagement metric. If in the first 3 seconds you confuse the viewer in some way, they'll keep watching to figure out what you're doing. That's why you see those like shaky, like when you see the phone and it's like shaky. I know people can't see me right now, but like they're putting the phone down somewhere and the view is all shaky. It's like confusion engagement.
Oh, that's interesting. And here I'm editing all that stuff out. Huh.
Right.
Well, get ready. There's going to be some non-edited TikToks of me as I'm coming to sit down at my desk and doing all of the weird. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. So weird.
It's like creating the illusion that you're just FaceTiming with someone. And that's why I like TikTok, because I never got into YouTube. I'm not a YouTube person. I don't want to spend an hour watching a YouTube. To me, that sounds very boring to me. But like 3 minutes of some engaging, dynamic person just talking right to camera, like they're my best friend, just telling me something. I love that kind of content.
Okay, I need to work on it. I really need to up level on the TikTok. I'm just impressed that I'm there and posting
Good for
consistently. I'm
you.
proud
Good
of
for you.
that,
Yeah, you
but
should be.
it's way too polished.
Yeah, it's
let's
hard.
talk let's talk about the tarot stuff too. How, like, were you a tarot person before, or did you just get into it? And then there's a whole set of tarot cards that were specifically made for this book, which is incredible. Talk to me about tarot.
So I actually had a writing student in one of my memoir classes, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, who is a tarot card reader. And she's the one who kind of first introduced me to tarot cards. And she's extremely gifted. I mean, she teaches tarot card reading. She's extremely gifted. And she was my first introduction to it. She and I co-taught a class where we were talking about tarot archetypes and storytelling. So that was really fun. And then actually it was a friend of mine in my writing group. So I knew I was going to write this mystery. I knew that one of the influencers was going to go missing, but I was like, what kind of influencer should she be? Should she be a cooking influencer? Should she be a makeup and beauty influencer? Like, what should she be? And someone in my writing group was like, she should be a tarot card influencer. And I was like, oh, good idea. So I didn't even come up with that idea. Someone else gave me that idea. But then I had to research, what is tarot card influencing on TikTok? What are those accounts like? And what I said a minute ago about TikTok serving you very personalized videos that it thinks you will like, the tarot card readers fit so organically into this, because on their videos, it will say, stop scrolling right now. This video was meant to find you. So it's creating the illusion that this is your destiny. As you're scrolling late at night, this video comes across your feed that says someone from your past has a message for you. And it's just human nature to want to stop and then wonder if that message is real. So they're always like vague enough that they could apply to anybody. They're always the messages that we want to hear. You know, it's like someone from your past can't get you out of their mind. Good things are coming to you. Sometimes they're spooky or dangerous, but often they're just like vague positive messages about your crush, you know, because they have to apply to people of all generations. So that's, at some point researching this is when I came up with the title for the book, which comes right from these videos. If you're seeing this, it's meant for you. It's to get you to stop scrolling and to receive the message. So Becca, the influencer in my novel, is known for these tarot card videos, and she disappears from the house. And so her fandom is obsessed with figuring out, where did she go? Did someone harm her? Who knows the truth about her disappearance? What clues can we read into her final video with the Eight of Swords card? What does the Eight of Swords mean? What comes after the Eight of Swords? So they're trying to piece together what happened to her. And the 39-year-old character kind of cynically seizes this opportunity to use the disappearance to stage a campaign for a fashion label. So the fashion label is going to pay them money, and they're going to have all the influencers wear the garments from the fashion label as they search for the missing influencer.
I love this. And I'm so fascinated with all of the different types of influencers there are. I had no idea. I just read Joe Piazza's Everyone's Lying to You.
Yes.
And she mentions the henfluencer. And I'm like, oh my God, I know one in real life. Like, I had no idea that that was
Wait,
truly
what's
a
a
thing.
henfluencer?
Someone who uses their chickens as their influence. They like post their chickens. Yeah, it's a thing.
Wow. Okay. I'm
It's
learning
a
something new.
thing. Oh, it's great. It's going in my book.
So instead of having like cat content or dog content, it's hen
It's chicken.
content.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
That's not on my
interesting.
feed. I don't watch henfluencers.
I'm sure it will be now because somebody's listening. So
They're always listening.
I love this. And speaking of animals, we're going to go from hens to rabbits because Owen Wilson plays a huge part in this book. And we're talking about Owen Wilson, the rabbit. I love your opening scene. I love how this starts, how I don't want to give it away, but I mean, it is the opening part. So it's
We
not
can
like
give it away.
we're not giving away the end part, but you share with it what this idiot posts and how
This is
it
so
just
funny too.
starts it.
This happened to a friend of a friend, that she found out her boyfriend was breaking up with her because he left his laptop open to the Reddit post where he was like, how do I tell my girlfriend I don't want her to move in with me?
Oh my gosh.
So I stole this from my book. So my book opens with this Reddit post of this guy saying, how do I tell my girlfriend I changed my mind? I don't want her to move in. And my main character is literally on the highway driving to his house behind the moving truck when her friend sends her the Reddit post. And the reason that her friend knows that this is actually about her is because he mentions the rabbit Owen Wilson. He doesn't change the name of the
Idiot.
rabbit, and there's only one rabbit, Owen Wilson. So this is something that's like, in all the years I worked on the book, this never changed. Owen Wilson was always Owen Wilson. I just saw this photo on the internet of this rabbit, and as soon as I saw this rabbit, I was like, that rabbit looks just like Owen Wilson. That so I just had, but this is everyone's favorite character in the book. Everyone loves Owen Wilson. It was so much fun. So my main character is 39. She does not have kids. She just has her son, Owen Wilson. So he is a childlike figure to her. He's very important to her, and she comes up with a scheme to motivate the Gen Z content creators to grow their following, because she says whoever grows their following the most in a certain amount of time, I will allow them to make content with my rabbit. Because as you know from influencing, like if you have an animal for your content, like it does very well for engagement.
I'm going to need Norma Desmond to start helping
You
me.
should. You need more Norma Desmond content. I think that's the
Yeah.
lesson of this interview. Yes.
Oh, and she's going to be like, what the fuck? She will. She'll be like, this is not right.
I think you need photos of her like looking out the window. Like you should like stage her like in.
Oh, I have some of those. Yes, I do. I will because I will take them and I'll send them to my husband of like, this is what your dog is doing. Nothing. She is looking out the window. She's sunbathing in the backyard.
She's remembering the good old days when she was on screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I love this. Yeah. This is going to be a new thing. Watch. And then after I read your book and have all this Owen Wilson, he's on the freaking TV. I think I texted you. I was like, I just finished the book, and then it was Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
It was on.
If you're seeing this, it's meant for you. It's just like, yes, the universe is delivering your destiny.
And so you have to send him a copy of the book too.
Working on it.
Yeah. He needs to endorse it. Like, yes, this is my book. It is my rabbit. And I love that it's so funny that people want a rabbit, because like it doesn't make sense to me, and yet it does make sense.
Yeah, I just thought it would be, I don't have a rabbit. I just thought it would be more interesting than a cat or a dog. Like, I just thought it would be interesting. And so I should back up and say, like, 7 months into writing the book, I'd never been on TikTok. I was like, this has got to change. I have to learn TikTok. And so I was like, I need a young person to help me. So I put out a call for submissions for job applicants to be my like summer TikTok assistant. I got many applications. I did 10 interviews. My husband was like, why are you interviewing so many people? I was like, because each interview is so interesting. I was meeting all these interesting people and having them talk to me about TikTok. It was fascinating. So I ended up hiring Callie, who had just graduated from Brown in May, and she became my summer research assistant. And the book is actually dedicated to Callie, because without Callie, there would be no book. But one of the things she researched for me was like rabbit owner influencer accounts. So like she like learned about what do they eat and how do you groom them, and like are they in an enclosure, or are they free range rabbits? Do they get to go around? And so she helped me with a lot of that research. But basically, you can look at anything you've ever been curious about, you can look up on TikTok. Like to Gen Z, TikTok is their Google. It's their search engine.
I love this because I'm not. I guess I'm the cusp of like in between. I'm 81, so there's like that.
Yeah, I think you get to choose who you identify with. Do you identify as a millennial or an Xer?
More of an Xer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think so. There's some of me is millennial. I think, but I think they also get a bad rap. So.
My husband is 80 and he is like, I am not a millennial. Like he's like, I am totally a Gen Xer. Like it's insulting to him to be thought of as a millennial.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see there was a, I think it was on Instagram reel. It wasn't a TikTok. Maybe it's a TikTok too, but it was this woman who was talking to the Gen Zers of like, don't come at us with whatever you think you can do because you weren't at the club sweating it up in your 6-inch heels, pre-partying. You don't even know what a pre-party is, but that's what happens at 9 o'clock as you're getting your makeup on. It was hilarious. And it was so true.
Well, this is one of the themes of my book. I mean, it's the clash between the generations. It's millennials feeling like Gen Z doesn't get it at all. Gen Z feeling like millennials don't get it at all. Every generation feels completely misunderstood by the other generation. And every generation, when they're the young generation, they're completely looked down upon by the older generations. And then one day you become the older generation. Like it's so cyclical. But when you're young, I mean, at least in my experience, I just thought like middle age was something that happened to other people. Like I would look at middle-aged people and be like, well, that could never happen to me. Like how did those people let that happen to them? But now I'm 40 and I'm just like, whoa, this is insane. Like, how could the 90s be 30 years ago? Like, we're like historical fiction, I'm using quote marks, is now being written about the 1990s
Oh,
when I
that's
was
sad.
alive. It's so trippy. It's so trippy. It's
It's
like
like those
doing
insurance
drugs.
commercials of
Yes.
where they're like, yeah, we don't say that.
But it's just this question of like, I don't know if you feel this anxiety about relevance, like as you age, like wanting to stay relevant. Um, Yeah, especially as someone, I don't have kids. So like it's like I'm not raising the next generation of relevance. I'm just thinking about my own
Yeah.
relevance and where I fit in because I'm not a young adult. I'm really at the beginning of midlife and figuring out what that means for my identity and my influence and my relevance. I think about it a lot.
But do you find that it's more freeing? I find more so that I'm like, do what I want.
I don't find that. I've heard that. I've heard that, but I think I'm still so desperate to remain current. Like my not I'm try I want my novels to be very timely. Like the most flattering feedback I've gotten about this new novel is to hear other TikTok creators say I nailed it. Like that I got it right, that my book wasn't cringe, that I did a good job capturing what it's like to create content on TikTok and capturing what TikTok is. That to me is so gratifying because I worked really hard to do that. Um, so yeah, I guess I'm just pathetic and desperate for
No,
desperate for
no,
relevance and validation.
you are very relevant, very
Thank
relevant.
you.
And I feel since we're talking about,
I'm gonna get tattoo.
please
Very
do,
relevant.
please do, yeah, and then put my initials on it.
Michelle.
Since we're talking about age, we also should address the May, December, December, May relationships that we have going on in this book. And I think that's the proper term. I know that May, December is proper, but I don't know if December, May the opposite way is. But it's going
That's
on
good.
both
I like it.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a love triangle. So my book is not a romance. I'm not a romance author, but traditionally Gothic novels have like a romance in them, like Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights. There are romance elements in Gothic novels. So my book does have a romance element. So there's a love triangle between the 39-year-old main character, and she is in a love triangle with the 55-year-old man who owns the Hype House and a 22-year-old Gen Z content creator in the house.
I
And
love it.
I had to think a lot about like how to make that plausible. Like, how do you make a 39-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man plausible? Even though I do feel like cougar relationships are very trendy right now, like with baby girl and the idea of you. So in my novel, I made her very beautiful. And then I also have her lie about her age. So she tells the 22-year-old she's 32.
Because, those 7 years are going to make the big difference, right?
But
I
yeah,
love it.
that was fun to write.
That's still like Sunset Boulevard-y, just that you have the old man instead of, well, not old. I mean, 55 is not old. But you have the older man instead of the older female characters.
Yeah, and of course I wanted the 55-year-old. I mean, he has to be an attractive, appealing love interest, and I struggled with his character more than any other character. I really struggled with this guy, and in the earlier drafts of the book, I had him as kind of, so they meet 20 years before. So when they meet, he's 35 and she's 19. He's kind of a mentor to her in her photography career. Then something happens. They don't speak for 20 years until he calls her up and says like, will you come run my Hype House for me? And in earlier drafts of the book, he was like the older guy that's like more into you than you're into him. So it's kind of like gross and creepy. And even if it was realistic, it was like not appealing. Like you didn't want to read about things happening between them because he was just kind of like gross. And then my book, it was so hard to sell this book. It was on submission for 9 months. It was so difficult. I was so frustrated. And somewhere during this 9 month period, I just like had I had this like revelation, this memory of this experience I had when I was a young woman, and I had this older poetry mentor who's maybe a decade older than me, and I just remembered that I always wanted something to happen between us, but it never did. So I wanted him more than he wanted me. I kept waiting for him to ask me out, but we just remained like friends. And like was older mentor and I was younger mentee. And once I had that memory, I was like, oh my God, that's the relationship. So then I rewrote the beginning so that when she's 19 and she meets him, she comes to his house and she's like waiting for him to make a move. She's waiting for him to come to her room in the night and he never comes. And so 20 years later, she's like a mature adult. She has more agency now. And now there's like an opportunity for sparks to happen between us. And it just works so much better. Yeah.
I love that you're just giving me all of the parts that are you in this book. Like, I don't even have to ask, so Leigh, where are you in this book? You're like, and when I was 19, there was a mentor and I wanted him. And so I put him in the book.
I don't think he's going to listen to this. Though you never know. You never know when someone, as TikTok tells us, you never know when someone from your past is thinking about you.
Scroll that past that needs to come across the screen right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But this is the other thing about midlife, right? It's like at this age, we're in our 40s. Like we've made certain decisions. We have the life we have, but we can look back now and say like, wow, if I had done that instead of that, if I had moved here instead of there, if I had stayed with that person instead of leaving that person, you just start to think about the forks in the road that you took and how your life would be different if you'd taken different paths.
Yeah. And I think that as we grow older and we hit the 40s, those thoughts do come up more frequently than we probably admit of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That could have gone really differently.
But because the other main character we haven't talked about in my book is like this 19-year-old newcomer to the house, not the missing one, but she's like this 19-year-old newcomer. But when you're 19, like all you can see are like 8 million forks in the road. It's like, which one do you take? It's overwhelming. You have so many choices. And so I think Gen Z has a lot of anxiety because they almost have too many options ahead of them. So it's like, I'm interested in these two different life stages and then putting those two women like looking at each other through a window.
Yeah, that's interesting. And we didn't even talk about the couple that's in there and the 19-year-old boy. I mean, he's a boy. And then there's the stalker. And like, there's so many different aspects to this that everybody just has to read the damn book.
Thank you.
But yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You kept me entertained. You made me Google things. So I learned something and I was entertained. And it's you. I love what you do. I love how creative you are. And I'm so glad that you got a book deal because you deserve it. You freaking deserve it.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Thanks for reading my book so carefully.
Now it needs to become a movie.
With Owen Wilson. Like, just imagine Owen Wilson as Craig. Think about that.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be good.
And the rabbit's still named Owen Wilson. Like, oh, that would be so clever.
That would be very meta.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, well, happy Pub Day. And can you tell everyone where they can buy the book and follow you on your TikTok and everywhere?
Yes. So you can find me on TikTok. My name is spelled Leigh, I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I also have a Substack newsletter for writers if you're a writer and you're looking for publishing and career advice. And the novel is If You're Seeing This, It's Meant for You, available wherever you normally buy your books.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
I loved how easy Leigh made it to share what parts of her are in this book. It is epic. Please go pick it up. If you're seeing this, it's meant for you because it is incredible. And if you love TCM like I do, you will love the history parts of this book, but also the relevance of TikTok and hype houses and all of the drama that unfolds. It is a terrific read. I can't sing her praises enough on this one. So please go pick this book up and go look at tarot cards, go find them on TikTok. You're going to be doing a whole lot of things you didn't think you would be doing until after you read this book. So go read the damn book.